Hey folks, welcome back to the Western Southerner YouTube channel. So last summer, this 2010 Chevy Silverado had a P219a code, and I made a video about the saga trying to figure out what that code was. Every day people are watching this video. I mean, like, quite a few people. So I spent months trying to figure out how to fix this code. I did everything from replacing the gas cap to putting new injectors in this thing. It wasn't the injectors. And so I'm going to go through and kind of just line out the steps that I would do now that I know what I know about how to resolve this code. Okay, number one, first things first, I would make sure that there's a Delco air filter in here, okay? I would also make sure that this airbox housing is in good condition. All these screw tabs are intact and it's a good seal around there. I'd also make sure that this breather hose gets a good fit, okay? Right here and right here. And make sure there wasn't any like damage in this thing as well. Make sure that there's a good seal where the mass airflow sensor is too. If you've got an aftermarket intake on it, that's probably gonna be an issue. So, you know, take that in consideration. The next thing I would do, I'd take this breather hose off, pull this shroud off, and I'd clean the throttle body. It's right down in there. It's just a few bolts. It's pretty easy to do. Along with cleaning the throttle body, I'd run a few bottles of Techron or fuel injector cleaner in the gas tank just to, you know, make sure things are clean in there. All right, number three, I would either clean and or replace the mass airflow sensor. This is a Delphi, it's not a Delco, but they had a Delphi in house and the Delco ones were kind of hard to find. You can just get mass airflow cleaner, you spray it off, kind of clean it with a Q-tip. You just got to be really careful, they're delicate. Okay, number four, I'd make sure that my oil cap and my gas cap had a good seal. You don't have to replace them, although I did. You just want to make sure that there's no vacuum leak there. Okay, number five, there's a valve cover here that had a service bulletin about it. The PCV valve is built into the back of it down there, and you want to make sure that you have the updated valve cover on there. That you've probably already done this, but it's just a thing to make sure about. Number six, you want to make sure that your ground strap right here is in good shape. I'd put a new ground strap on. All right, number seven, we're kind of getting into more expensive, complicated things, but I would want to make sure that all these exhaust manifold bolts are in good shape down here. If you've got one that's broken and air's leaking in there, you'll hear like a rattle or a tap when you first crank it up, and then it won't last very long because the metal expands and it seals up. If it's a P219a code, that would typically involve this side. P219b would involve the passenger side. Okay, number eight is what actually was going on with my truck. I would replace both upstream O2 sensors with Delco sensors. Not a Denso, not a standard, not a Walker, definitely not a Walker. And make sure it's got a Delco O2 sensors in it. It sounds crazy, but yeah, it's important, and that's what fixed this truck. All right, number nine, I'd make sure my spark plugs and wires were in good shape. Again, that's probably a general maintenance piece. It's been done on your truck, but just making sure that the plugs and wires are in good shape is important. So number 10, there's this whole like fuel alcohol relearn thing that can get messed up. And the way you check on that is you plug a scanner in. At some point in the data readout, there should be like a readout of what the percentage of alcohol in the fuel is. And as long as that percentage is in parameters, you should be good. But if it says it's like 40% alcohol in the fuel, obviously that's not correct. If it is, you got bigger issues. And then you have to kind of do a relearn process, which I don't honestly know a whole lot about. Okay, so if I did all those things and I was still getting the P219a code, at that point I would consider putting a new set of injectors in this thing. There's all kinds of garbage injectors they sell online. You got to get the Delco ones. I bought them from Rock Auto. I think it was about 500 bucks for all 8 of them. I was able to like find a discount code or get 10% off, I think. But Rock Auto was definitely the cheapest price that I could find. I made an installation video. I'll put a link up to it up here. I hope this is helpful for someone. That code's really tricky to find. Please hit like and subscribe, and good luck, everybody. Take care.